fucking 2 a.m. What's cracking, fellas? It's Vega, and I am back here with the second installment of albums close to my heart. I made the first one about Kevin Abstract's Arizona Baby, and then I decided, I was like, I have a lot more albums that I feel this way about, so why not make more? This time I wanted to talk about Iridescence by Brockhampton. For me, that shit hit. It hit. It means a lot to me for a lot of different reasons, but firstly, this was their first rollout that I was actually present for, because I didn't find them until after the Saturation series, but this was my first, official rollout to be here for, so I was, really excited to see them be hyped up on Twitter and to listen to the album as it is fresh. And actually, Sarah, who I talk about a lot on this channel, she's basically a cameo in every fucking video that I make. Basically, Sarah and I had already been friends, and then we bonded about the 99 singles, but then this album came out. This album came out, and it skyrocketed our bond to completely different levels, because we were like, oh my god, this is my first Brockhampton release, and just talking about how much we like them and blah blah blah, all that stuff. So I'm glad that that I had this album for that, because Sarah's my bitch. I love you. That's my fucking best friend. Overall, the thing with this album is it's one of those albums that I didn't know I needed when it came out until it had already been out for a couple months, because it came out in September, which I'm making this video now because it'll be 2 days off of a year since it came out, but November came, mid-November came, and I fell into a nice few month-long depressive episode up until early to mid-April, and I listened to this album pretty much every day through that whole thing, and it was I was in that depressive episode, and I was also having a crisis about school and about my future and about am I doing the right thing major wise, I'm not happy, blah blah blah. And I listened to this album and was like, oh, there are people that understand this sentiment. Wow. Tanya. Oh my god. Tanya, I relate to literally every single fucking word of that song, pretty much. Every verse, every line, word for word, somehow personally resonates with my life, which was a lot. When they first debuted it on Fallon over the summer, I literally cried. And then I anticipated that it would be on the album. When I saw the track list and I saw that it was on there, I was like, oh my god, we're gonna get a studio version. So it's always gonna be sad bitch hours, you know? And it's crazy generally how much this album hit with a lot of themes in my life all the time, but really themes in my life during this whole dark period, depressive episode. You know, the whole themes of inadequacy and expectation that has been placed on you, and family, and codependency and dependency in general, and the fear of disappointing everyone around you, and feeling you can't complain about where you're at in life because you're still better off than other people. Specifically with me, the whole feelings of not being able to complain about a certain aspect of my life was my whole college situation. I was I'm in a place where many people don't get to be, so me complaining about it makes it seem like I'm ungrateful or all these other things, even though that's far from the truth, because it's I was so unhappy in college and I was doing something I didn't want to do, but I was I'm here and so many other people don't get to be here. And there are other things in my life that that resonates with, but mostly it was the college I was at and all of that stuff. And then to go hand in hand with that and the rest of the themes was, wanting more from life than what I had, or than the summation of all of those other previous themes coming together, because a lot of those themes were the reason I was I want more, but I'm dependent on XYZ, or I don't want to disappoint my family, or there's so much expectation that's been placed on me literally my entire life, or I'm inadequate and I can't leave. So that I wanted more than being stuck being unhappy and like being stuck in a major I hated and being stuck doing things that I didn't want to do anymore, which I figured that out. Clearly I'm leaving the situation that I was in then, but it just like it hit, and it still does. Like, I still very deeply relate to a lot of the themes within this album, and it did help me get through that time a lot, because I was like, I'm lost in the world and I don't know what to do. I was like, let me listen to Iridescence for the 12,000th time. And then before that whole episode hit, I went to see them at Camp Flog Gnaw, and oh my god, when I tell you that seeing those songs from that album, which I didn't get to see a lot of the like heavier songs, heavier as in like the more sad songs, but for the songs I did hear from Iridescence, like watching them brought to life, I was like, oh my god, like the way it made me feel to see those songs embodied by them in person. It's like the exact album I needed to express the way that life had me feeling at that point in time. It helped me to kind of like find my way out of all of that. So I am really like grateful for this album's existence. I'm really happy that I have it. That's it for me. I will be back with something else next week. If you stuck around this long, thank you very much, and peace out.